Okay, we are go. Ha ha ha! Finally got rid of that old screen that I couldn't get rid of. I just had to restart it over again. I'm not getting rid of the old previous podcast because there's valuable information out there. I might not be able to put on Spotify. I don't know. Maybe I was telling the truth so much that they didn't let me have my broadcast on Spotify like I wanted. I don't care. I don't care. At least it's on YouTube. And you're not going to take it off YouTube because it's nothing that violates our community standards. Okay. Spotify's community standards are just you can't tell the truth too strongly. YouTube's community standards are, well, you just can't too the too strongly. Anyway, yeah. So don't get the Vax review. Now don't get this. Whatever you do, don't get that thing. Anyway, or the booster. Or just submit yourself to that test. Not mandated anyway. So I'm going to start with the Star Wars series scripts. Started with episode 14, then I'll do 15, and then I'll end my broadcast. So here we go. Let's see. YouTube, no. Loop Forever. Look at my new website. My friend Cole did this. Isn't that awesome? Not the ad. No, the ad is not a website. But this is awesome. He did this nice background for my website. It looks awesome. It looks so futuristic. I love it. It's so cool. It's like I'm on the dark web. I'm not. It's cool. It's awesome. It's so cool. Oh, I don't want to see that. Let's see. Two viewing now. Awesome. I'm gonna go to 14. Shoot. The Resistance Strikes Back. Here we go. Ready? And we are go. And Roger, Dodger. Here we go. There they are. Open fire.
14. The Resistance Strikes Back. Brent Koivopolo 888. Administrator. Grant Non-Inquisitorius. Just hired a new admin. Posts 2,172. Member is online. Post by Brent Koivopolo 888 on March 12, 2021 at 5:30 p.m.
Oh, Maris,
Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. Note, 7:33 p.m. March 27, 2021 AD. It has come to my attention that it seems that Admiral Akbar, a fan favorite, was supposedly unceremoniously killed off in The Last Jedi. However, rumors of Akbar's death are greatly exaggerated. In the novelization of Star Wars Episode 10, it will be established that Princess Leia also saved Akbar's life at the same time that she was saving her own life with the Force, floating him down to the planet's surface as she floated herself through space. Because she had to protect two people from the vacuum of space, both went into a coma. Leia came out of hers early because of a Jedi healing trance, and while Akbar was secretly squirreled away recovering in a coma, Holdo took his job, and long before Episode 10 begins, Akbar was reinstated to his old job, to the relief of all. Having come out of his long coma and recovered from his burns and wounds, and Holdo put in a clerical position on Coruscant, retaken from Imperial remnants in the new seat of the New Republic, for her incompetence. BLSK. Disclaimer. All original characters or ideas or used ideas or characters used or arranged in an original way and original dialogue and sets in vehicles and planets original or used originally is the sole intellectual property of Brent Lee SOHLDENKOIVOPOLO versus and cannot be stolen, but may be reproduced under fair use and created only by executives and creators and directors from Lucasfilm Limited without change or alteration, save for additional material or by myself and those I hired to help with full cooperation with an authorization from Lucasfilm Limited. This script is only in its first draft and subject to future revisions. This is read only for your pleasure, entertainment, and enjoyment. God bless Brent. P.S. According to Google, the Hosnian system was a star system in the galaxy's core that contained the planets Cardota, Cortilius, Hosnian, Hosnian Prime, and Ratio. Rumors of Coruscant's death. For any Wars fans who still believe the planet was destroyed by Starkiller Base are also greatly exaggerated to my great relief. It is a key player in my Star Wars trilogies. Had Starkiller Base I destroyed it in SW7, I would have had to replace Coruscant's place in the scripts with another world, such as Chandrila, which I am also glad was not in the Hosnian Prime system destroyed by Ilum Base, for Chandrila features heavily in Episode 10 at least. P.S. If you wish to comment on or discuss this script or you are George Lucas and wish to suggest ideas no one else can, then there is a SW14 discussion and comments channel below this channel. Below the Episode 15 channel, fewer several channels below that. After the last line, last word of this script is complete, I will also unlock this thread so users can comment and discuss also below this script. Me Juzku and God bless. Star Wars Episode 14, The Resistance Strikes Back. Screenplay by Brent Sold and Koivopola V. SEO1 Ext. Space. A vast sea of stars serves as the backdrop for the title role, which crawls into infinity. Episode 14. The Resistance Strikes Back. Darkness clouds the sunshine of the galaxy as solar system after solar system falls into Imperial hands. The entire surface of Coruscant has been obliterated and the Chancellor of the New Republic, Mon Mothma, rules from the rebel-held world of Toydaria. AHCH has been destroyed and so have countless worlds holding Jedi temples by the second Starkiller Base, whose location remains a mystery, cloaked in the shadows. Rey Skywalker Solo and her husband Ben are headed toward the planet of Tatooine to give Resistance forces a speech and visit a newly constructed Jedi temple there. Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. SEO2 Ext. Space. A modified A-wing with R2-D2 in the side and an old-style Jedi starfighter with BB-8 in the side rocket down diagonally and forward across the screen, and we see them from the top down. They descend through the atmosphere of Tatooine and come to a nondescript building, and land. SEO3 Int. Tatooine Rebel Base. Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. The Resistance fighters stand at attention when Rey and Ben walk in. Rey, at ease gentlemen and ladies. It may look like the Empire has the upper hand, and we have no hope, but I tell you, all of you, that as long as we have breath, there is always hope. Cheers and applause. Rey commented, and because there is always hope, we can pray for a better and a brighter future for our children and our children's children and on until 1,000 generations. More cheers and applause. Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. Rey commented, there are still over 10,000 Jedi temples left in this galaxy, and Sidious has not succeeded in killing many Jedi this time, but only a relative few. There are over 500 rebel bases scattered throughout our galaxy. We are not weak. We are strong. We are not cowards. We are brave. We will stand up to the Empire. We have been working with the Genosians, once betrayed by the Empire, on a secret project which should turn the tide of this war. But using this weapon must be done with care, and no one must know of this, not even your own families. We have millions of probe droids scouring our galaxy in search of the new Starkiller Base, and when we find it, it shall be summarily destroyed, along with each and every of the millions of clones of the Dark Lord. Cheers and applause. Ray commented, I have come seeking volunteers to man our new Geonosian projects. This is not a draft. Anyone who wishes to man one of our many projects may sign up immediately after our meeting. Murmuring among the crowd. Ray commented, now, soon we must leave you and be present at the dedication of the newly constructed Jedi Temple in this place. SEO 4X. Tatooine Jedi Temple Day. We see of Jedi Temple dedicatory prayer to the God of the Force, and when the temple has been dedicated, the Force glows blue and surrounds and fills the temple and shoots up into the air. And an older Grogu says something to another Jedi and points up. And we see through the glass ceiling set against Tatooine's twin suns a giant symbol of the rebellion that fills the sky. The Jedi start to sing a hymn of praise and worship to the God of the Force and their Lord, who the Jedi have always more or less carried in their hearts since time immemorial. Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. SEO 5X. Space. We hear upbeat rebel scoring reminiscent of the return of the Jedi space battle blended with a variation of the Resistance theme as we see first X, A, B and Y wings and other kinds of rebel snub fighters, some new and larger frigates, cruisers, battleships, blockade runners, etc. But this only serves to show the sheer massive scale of a fleet of Resistance Death Stars in V formation. Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. SEO 6 int. Death Star a control room. A group of Resistance soldiers stand at the ready as the PA announces. PA, VO, Hope Star Squadron 1, Hope Stars AF, we have acquired our first 7 targets. Sending coordinates now. After we have evacuated our targets, save for the Dark Lord clones on them, split up, blow the planets, and meet up in the Delta Quadrant. Let's make our first strike count. This should take out nearly 209,000 Palpy clones. Hope Star Squadrons 2 to 10 will soon get their turns, then our probes will find new targets. The Resistance officers look at each other with a grim looks, steeling themselves for what they must do. Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. SEO 7X. MUNALIST Open Air Coliseum Day. A Palpatine clone is giving a speech. Hundreds of thousands are in attendance. Palpatine, and so nearly every citizen of this planet has evacuated this planet, leaving behind their great and fair cities to join the pitiful rebellion, they say. Well, good riddance to them. More room for my clones. There can never be enough of your EMPORER. The rebellion may still be holding out, but soon you will hear no oh my. The sky goes crimson and all around the earth shakes mightily, and suddenly the most huge and local ICAV-enhanced explosion in cinematic history makes Christosis into space dust.
No, not Christosis.
Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. SEO 8X. Space Hyperspace Lane. SEO 9. Millennium Falcon. The Force ghosts of Luke, Han Solo, and a young Obi-Wan stand together with Ben and Rey. Ben, Masters, I feel that hundreds of thousands of shadows cried out in terror and fled into outer darkness forever. I feel something wonderful has happened. Edited. Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. C-3PO, R2-D2, BB-8D0 and Luke and Sarah Skywalker Solo are playing a space-style game of Reversi on the ship's game table. Chewie only observes, barking advice. We hear a beep beep beep. Ray, we're coming up on TOYDARIA. South Carolina 10X. Space. Hyperspace lane around Falcon shifts into outer space as we see TOYDARIA, with several Death Stars orbiting it. South Carolina 11 int. MILLINIUM Falcon. Ben, just how many moons does TOYDARIA have, dear? Ray giggles, those aren't moons, those are space stations. Ben, oh, our Death Stars, of course. It's just that I've never seen a Death Star before, not this close anyway, only a Star Killer base, and that looks way different. Ray, I have. Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. South Carolina 12X. TOYDARIA Landing Platform Day. The newly elected king of Toydaria and Chancellor Mon Mothma Akbar and an entourage of royal guards wait to meet the crew of the Falcon. The Falcon lands. The main door opens. Out walks first Rey and Ben, hand in hand, then Finn, Poe, Lando, Tendrick, Chewie, Lumpy, 3PO, R2 and BB-8D0 with the 2 Jedi children and Lando Jr. And an entourage of Resistance soldiers, edited. Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. Ben, Milady Mothma, Rey and I would like leave to visit the central of this planet's 5 Jedi temples. Chancellor Mothma, nodding, granted. Welcome to our rebel base and seat of the New Republic. Nods to King Hilato the Great. King Hlatto, all of Toydaria welcomes you. Nods to Mothma. Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. Mothma, Rey, you have stood up to a clone of your grandfather before and overcome. We have word that 3 clones have fled to his homeworld of Naboo for sanctuary, a planet which we cannot in good conscience destroy. All the Jedi Masters here seem to be of the opinion that you are to go to Naboo and seek these clones out and slay them. They say you are not to take your husband Ben, but instead must travel with a Grand Master Klon and the 2 junior Jedi Knights, who have a great affinity with each other that could quite possibly develop into a romance. Tal and Nalsali who are all on this planet. In the temple you wish to visit, and you may go in the Falcon, with its regular crew rendering what assistance they may. But Tendra must stay on Toydaria. However, Master Klon seems to be of the opinion that my daughter, Fawn, travel with you. She is old enough to make her own decisions, and she has agreed to go. Masters Lonko, Gornay and Hirath and some knights and resistance fighters and spies have already gone to Naboo before you to try to lay the groundwork of ferreting out the locations of the Dark Lords and find out what their plans are. So far the search has turned up cold, edited. Finn, it'll be nice to see their progress on rebuilding Theed after 6 years. I'm kind of looking forward to going back. Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. South Carolina 13, int. Spacious Toydarian dining hall evening. The company enjoys their last rich repast probably for a long time. Monterey, I understand Luke and Sarah have become almost as adept at using the Force as my Jedi protectors Nalsa and Tal were at their age. Rey, I believe Chancellor, even more so. We have trained them well. Mon, they've never been in real danger before. This is their first mission, is it not? Brent Solden, November 27, 2020. Ben, Milady, Luke is older than Sarah by 2 years. That makes a lot of difference. Luke is a knight, Sarah is a Padawan. Both have been to over 50 worlds apiece with us, and have faced numerous dangers. Sarah, 9, can do just the most amazing things already, and Luke couldn't have achieved knighthood without going through the trials and facing the mirror. That alone is real danger. Don't underestimate our children. They may be young, but they are bright-eyed, full of knowledge and loaded with experience and wisdom. Mon, my mistake then. Brent Solden, November 30, 2020. Wipe left to South Carolina 14,Xt. Toydaria landing platform day. Everyone is boarding the Falcon. King Zalato, Mon Mothma and others are seeing them off. Hlatto, may your journey be a huge success. Mothma, may the Force be with you all. Tendrick, farewell, dear husband, and dear son. Hopefully we shall see each other again soon. Lando, oh, we'll be back in a jiffy. You won't even be able to tell we were gone. Right, Chewie? Chewie, barks. Tendrick, I love you. Lando, I do too. Love you right back. Waves goodbye. Chance, love you, Mom. Tendrick, love you too, Junior. Wipe right. South Carolina 15, X space. Millennium Falcon flies off into space, jumps into hyperspace from rear angle. Brent Solden, November 30, 2020. South Carolina 16, int. Millennium Falcon. Poe, I saw you at the dinner last night, but I don't believe we've been properly introduced. Poe Dameron. Mon Mothma. Poe, you look awfully young for your age if I do say so. Fawn, you are not hard on the eyes either, Poe. I like that name, by the way. I'd like to ask your opinion about something. How do you feel about the Force? In my early years I was a doubter, but I've seen too much of what the Force can do to disbelieve anymore. Fun, because of my position in the government and connections with a Jedi, I have access to a lot of their records. From studying the Force, my midichlorian count has been increasing and I have been able to tap into its power somewhat. I'm no Jedi, but I think I certainly have the potential to be someday. I am working toward that goal. Your aspirations impress me, Princess. I hope you do reach your goals. Cut to South Carolina 17 int. Millennium Falcon. R2, Lumpy and Finn are playing a hollow version of a Jenga-like game on the game table. C-3PO is advising R2. BB-8 observes. Lumpy pulls out a piece, then Finn, then R2. Lumpy is left with no option but to make the tower collapse. He hollers. C-3PO, I suggest you put that last piece back, R2. Unless you want one of your arms ripped off. Finn, yeah, R2. I hear Wookiees hate to lose. R2 beeps a blue streak as he puts the piece back, then leaves Lumpy an opening. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. Cut to South Carolina 18 int. Millennium Falcon. All the Jedi Master Rey, Jedi Grandmaster Klon, and Jedi Knights Tal, Nalsali, and Luke, and Padawan Sarah, who are 6 years older now, spar. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. We hear a beep 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 sound. Klon, Jedi Knights of the Order, and Padawan Sarah, time for a break. Rey and I have been called to a council meeting. I'm afraid by the coding on this signal, you two may not observe this one. Tal and Nalsa, Sarah and Luke ignite their sabers. South Carolina 19 Ext. FARSHA 4 night. South Carolina 20 int. Jedi Temple FARSHA 4 night. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. The Jedi Council is in session with a Grand Master Klon, Master Rey and Master Ben, LONKO, GORNEENHIRATH in hologram form only, transmitting from the Millennium Falcon, Toiteria and Naboo, respectively. There are 2 new members of the council, a female wolf-man-like alien, Master WURSUJIGFRA, and a male Shell Hutt, Master FRUMRUM the Hutt. 2 unnamed Jedi Masters from the previous council scene are no longer on the council. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. Grand Master LEERSA, the matters before us are of utmost importance. We all sense the shadow growing within young Jedi Knight Tal, and he is currently headed to a world where he can be under the direct influence of not 1, but 3 clones of the Dark Lord. And his attachment to both his master Klon and his friend and fellow Knight Nalsali makes him more susceptible to the Dark Lord's influence. Master JIGFRA, in her native tongue, subtitled, does not Nalsali have these same attachments? She is just as attracted to Tal as he is to her, and you, Master Klon, once took to yourself her as a Padawan apprentice as well. Grand Master Klon, it is not attachment alone. We have found that makes one susceptible to the dark side, otherwise where would be lawful procreation for a Jedi? No, Master Jigfra, we have found that the Dark Lords of the Sith single out potential apprentices and call out to them in their minds. This has been going on for some time between Palpatine and young Tal. Tal had been putting up a lot of resistance but lately has been giving in a little at a time to the Dark Lord's call. It is the same thing that happened between Snoke and a young Ben Solo so many years ago. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. Master Ben, what is this other matter you speak of? Grand Master LEERSA, we all, or most of us, sense in the Force that Ross Salem is still alive. And that he hides in the shadows from the Dark Lord in fear of reprisal for failing every mission that Palpatine, or his clones, gave him. We need to divert the mission immediately of Tal and Nalsali to go to Mustafar where we sense that Ross Salem is hiding. We feel he is close to returning to the light, but if he cannot be brought back to the light then their orders are to terminate him. We feel the danger is less for young Tal to turn to the dark side on Mustafar tracking down Ross Salem than with helping in the clone hunt. For we well remember what happened with Maul and Ezra Bridger. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. South Carolina 21, Int. Millennium Falcon cockpit. Lando is looking at some hollow star charts. Poe sits in the co-pilot's chair, reading a paper book. Rey walks in and starts switching switches on the ship's Navi computer. Lando, what in the wide universe? Rey, we're making an alteration in our course. Jedi business. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. South Carolina 22, Int. Millennium Falcon. Klon, this is a very important assignment. Can I trust you to accomplish your task? Tal, I thought we were going to Naboo to hunt the Dark Lord himself. Why can't you handle this, Master? Klon, we are brothers. I will not condescend to you as if you were still my apprentice. However, I will say that the entire council are agreed that you and Nalsa are best suited to this task because you have dealt with Rasalem before. I'm sure you will make me proud, Tal. Both of you will. Always stay in contact with me and Master Lyrsa. Give us regular reports. We hear a beep beep beep. We're coming up on the Mustafar system now. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. South Carolina 23, Ext. Mustafar. Millennium Falcon lands. Ramp opens and Tal, followed by Nalsa Lee, walk down. They watch as the Falcon flies off for Naboo. Tal looks at Nalsa, grinning. Tal, okay, let's go Sith hunting. NALSA, Sith hunting. If at all possible, I sense we are to try to turn Rasa back to the light. So while we are to find him, let's not call it hunting, K? She speeds off. Closing parenthesis dot. Tal also force speeds to keep up. South Carolina 24, Ext. Modeled sky of a hyperspace lane around Millennium Falcon. Int. Millennium Falcon. Sarah is meditating. Sarah P.O. Don't listen to him, Tal. He wants to use you for his own ends. Tal, V. Oh, but he promises so much. Sarah P.O. Empty promises. Has the Lord taught you nothing at all? You must rely upon that which is written. Luke, Sarah, sis. You there? Sarah, what is it, brother? Luke, supper is ready. Even Jedi have to eat. Sarah, I'll be there in a moment, Luke. Sarah, V. Oh, Tal, come closer to the light to expose the darkness that is within you, Tal. Have I lost you? I will always be your friend, and so will Luke. Oh, do come closer to the light. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. South Carolina 25, Ext. Naboo City of SHAWDAR evening. Boss Nass and the council of the other Gungan bosses meet with a Jedi and the rest of the crew of the Falcon. Nass Wesano, Lycan Sith. After what the Empire did to Arson planet Sith and the Gungans no friend, eh? 3 of Sith here Yusa say. Wesa willing to help Yusa find them. They know expecting Usen as spies. Klon, we already have several Jedi and non-Jedi operatives down on this planet searching. We expect you will be working with them? Nass grins and blubbers, shaking his head back and forth rapidly and blubbering, of course, and we will workin' with them. Klon, expect to hear from one of our operatives in 3 days. If you don't, then forget this whole meeting ever took place. Nass bows, as you so wish. Blubbers. South Carolina 26, Ext. Naboo Palace Courtyard Night. Finn and Klon are sparring with sabers and Finn is practicing wielding the Force. Klon, I will retire for the night. Finn, I want to enjoy the night air. Klon, good night, Padawan. Klon goes in. As Finn continues to focus on sparring techniques, a blue blade meets his. Finn looks up to see Captain Phasma. The duel is fast and exciting, as Finn's theme plays and Finn struggles in vain to vanquish this phantom. They lift each other into the air and force chokes. Failing at this, sabers once again clash. Then he suddenly realizes the best thing to do is not to fight but to submit. He kneels. Captain Phasma removes the helmet only to reveal Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost, who knights him, using the traditional Jedi knighting phrase. Luke smiles, phony armor gone, and says, Luke, before this night ends, additional training I have for you, Jedi Knight Finn. South Carolina 27, Int. Naboo Palace Court Night. Klon is talking with the Queen and her guard. Finn calmly walks up to them. Finn, Master Klon, I am now a Jedi Knight. Klon, however did that come about? Jedi Knight Finn? Finn, Luke Skywalker knighted me. I'm so happy. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. South Carolina 28, Ext. Mustafar Village. South Carolina 29, int. Mustafarian meeting place. Tall sad face in native Mustafarian, subtitled, handing a female native a piece of flimsy plastic. Have you seen this man around? Everyone gives each other nervous glances. Female native in native Mustafarian, subtitled, you must be on the wrong planet, sir. We have not seen him, nor do we know who he is. Suddenly, out of the shadows, we see a foot under a robe step forward, and a red halberd blade with a regular blade ignite. Voice, looking for me. Here to finish what you started on Coruscant. Slowly, subtly, Tal and Nalsali's theme starts up as Rasalem full-on assaults the two young Jedi still with their sabers undrawn. As they both ignite theirs at the same time to meet the assault together. The music swells as the furious fight continues outside. There had been some collateral damage as Rasalem had carelessly ended the lives of a few native Mustafarians in his wild assaults. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. NALSALI, the Dark Lord doesn't care about you or anyone but himself and his own self-preservation. You are only a shadow of your former self because of him. Let go of your hate, your malice, your rage, your fear, and join us back on the light side. Otherwise face certain destruction. Rasalem, all this from a little brat who only 6 years ago tried to kill me. It wasn't you who tried turning me back to the light then. Oh, no. It was Master Klon, then Jedi Knight Farja. As far as you two were concerned, I was just a nasty Sith Lord you had to kill. Where was your concern for my soul then? Before the two Jedi can answer, as they continue to fight fast and with fury. Two whirlpools of lava come out of the river of lava behind them and assault the Jedi pair from two sides. The Jedi, back to back together, put up a force shield to block the molten assault. SC-30 cut close-up of Tal's face deep in thought. SC-31 cut to close-up of Nalsali's face, a look of tacit determination. SC-32 cut to Rasalem's face, an expression of rage. South Carolina 33 int. Queen's rebuilt palace, the night. A different queen than we have before seen, sits with some of the same, some different handmaidens than we have seen in the previous film. A new governor, Sia Bibble's son, Corso Bibble, a concerned look on his middle-aged features, is addressing the Jedi and Commando team. Corso, the treachery of the former security volunteers' families runs deep. It was all we could do to root it all out of this palace, and this city and planet. Our new security volunteers have no connection to the former Palpatine-controlled families. That we know of. And we constantly monitor all of our current ones. We hear a beep 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 beep. Klon, Luke, Sarah, come along. South Carolina 34, Ext. FARSHA4 JEDI Temple. South Carolina 35, int. FARSHA4 Jedi Temple Meditation Room Day. Grand Master LEERSA sits with two other female masters as holograms of Klon, Rey, Luke and Sarah fill the holotable. LEERSA Master Gournay reports unusual activity in the planet's VALORN province. Guidance from Jedi Grand Master Obi-Wan Kenobi suggests that we send a crack team of rebels. Led by Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker solo to investigate, while Padawan Seer continues to train with Master Klon here as he keeps an eye on things in the palace. Kenobi senses that there may yet be spies indeed, and that the treachery runs deeper than the Queen could ever know or find out. Brent Solden, November 30th, 2020. Klon, what of Rey? LEERSA, she is to go immediately to Gunja, the capital city of the Gungans. The final Sith clone that has taken refuge here, the third, may seek to take over the underwater cities, as he is always seeking something to rule and reign over. On this point Grand Masters Yoda and Qui-Gon seem to be in hearty agreement. Sarah, I hope I don't seem like I'm speaking out of turn, Masters, but what of the third clone? LEERSA sad face, looks at her and smiles. You're not out of turn at all, young one. There is no fear among Jedi. Facing the third clone will be both your trial and your mirror. It shall be your passage to knighthood, and I believe you've been trained well enough to succeed. But he cloaks himself in the shadows so well, it could be some time before our spy network can ferret out his location. You are to take what rest you can at the palace and wait patiently for your opportunity to face off with the Sith. Sarah, I would be honored, Master. South Carolina 36, Ext. Mustafar. The fighting is a blur of blue and red as the Jedi continuously beat back Rem, and then he drives them back, then they him. Then as he fights, a wall of lava comes up behind him and pours itself on top of them, and it is all they can do to create a strong enough force shield together to stop any of the lava from burning them. But by the time they break out of the bubble of lava, Rasalem is gone. Edited. Tall, well, should we go find him, or wait for him to come back to us? NALSALI, patience. That fight took a lot out of us. We need to find a village somewhere and rest. Then we'll come up with a plan. Tall, agreed. South Carolina 37, int. Mustafarian Hotel. Tall, in native Mustafarian, subtitled, separate rooms please. Hands over some credits, edited. December 1st, 2020. South Carolina 38, int. Naboo Deravaloran Province Night. A Palpatine clone and 3 First Order officers are in conference. In the background, some Gungans are apparently enjoying recreational activity, minding their own business. Palpatine, as always the Jedi reveal their treachery, once more plotting against me. As far as I can tell, our interests are in danger here. My spies reveal that they have fingered this province as the location of one of my whereabouts, and they also know about my activities in Oda Gunja. However, not even you are allowed to know where my central hub of operations is here on this planet. Soon Rasalem will be arriving, for I have called him. Together, he and I will turn a new apprentice of mine to the dark side of the Force, and Lem will be eliminated, for he is a useless bantha casting to me. Then I will have an emissary to do my bidding 3 times more powerful than Rasalem and able to end the Jedi for good. I know Rasa, and I will be able to turn the boy, for Rasa has no attachment to him. That was the mistake with Vader and Luke. Dala, I think those Gungans over there should be eliminated. If they heard your plans, Palpatine, go and slaughter them. They pose no threat. At this the Gungans have already discreetly exited nonchalantly, but Dala and 2 other officers go out to pursue them. One is impaled by a Gungan blue energy ball and the other trips a wire and tumbles headlong to the earth. Palpatine, don't let them escape. South Carolina 39, Ext. Naboo Night. The Gungans flee fast on their beasts of burden as they toss energy ball after energy ball behind them. The lead Gungan scrambles into the woods as the other 2 are incinerated. South Carolina 40, Ext. Naboo Border of Woods Night. Palpatine and a contingent of First Order stormtroopers stand before the woods. Head stormtrooper, we've searched for 3 hours and found no trace of the Gungan spy. Palpatine, triple your search. December 9th, 2020. South Carolina 41, int. Naboo Palace Day. A Gungan hurries up to the court. He looks exhausted from running. Gungan, excuse use a servant, but I have some news from Valorn Province. Issa lost 2 brothers to brings use this information. Master Klon hugs him, comforting him. Master Klon, that is terrible. Please go on with your news. South Carolina 42, int. FARSHA 4 MEDITATION Chamber. 2 female Jedi Masters are meditating when the hollow table sparks to life. Brent Solden, the 9th of December 2020. Master Klon, Rasalem is coming to Naboo. Palpatine has called him. He plans to have Tal kill Rasa and take his place. Master Leersa, I believe strongly that we should send Nalsa and Tal after him. They need this test. Klon, but if Tal falls to the dark side, he could become the most powerful Sith Lord this galaxy has ever seen. Leersa, I have a plan. South Carolina 43, Ext. Naboo Ocean underwater scene. Oda Gunja underwater music starts up as we see Rey taking an Naboo submarine to Oda Gunja, and has a new twist as we see Palpatine in another sub as he calls out to two huge sea monsters to do his bidding and tear her sub apart. She jumps out of her sub and puts in a Jedi breather and swims, accelerated by the Force, to Palpatine's sub. With her saber she slices it open and Palpatine and Rey lock sabers. Palpatine, I am still every Sith. Rey, I am still every Jedi. But I am stronger now, and dividing yourself has only made you weaker. As they fight in close quarters, the submarine goes back into the city and crash lands in the hangar. Both Rey and Palpatine backflip out and then clash sabers again. South Carolina 44 Ext. Feet va LORN Province Day. Luke, Lando, Jr., Chewbacca, Lumpy, Finn, Poe and Fawn, and Klon sneak around the complex with the most Imperial troops around it. And its Saint stands guard as well. With the Force, Finn maneuves a charge onto the ST's side. After a small pause, the Saint blows up and a firefight ensues. Some rebel troops go down but the core group remains, and then Finn and Luke and Klon make short work of the Imperial sentries and royal guards just outside the Emperor's throne room. Then Klon, Finn and Luke step in. The throne swivels to reveal Palpatine, a wicked grin across his face. Palpatine, go ahead and strike me down with your anger, your hatred, rage and malice. There are many more of me and I can use allies such as yourselves. Brent Solden, the 9th of December 2020. Finn, lowering his saber, no. You will have to attack us and we will have to defeat you in self-defense. Palpatine steps off of his throne and starts to pump lightning into the three of them, but all three absorb it with their sabers. Luke, where do you learn to do that? Finn, winking at Luke, your great uncle Luke taught me. Palpatine, it is obvious this contest can't be won by our knowledge of the Force but by our skills with a lightsaber, cackles as he gestures to his right. A panel opens up and he calls a lightsaber to his hand and ignites it and jumps and twists at the three Jedi. As Finn's theme swells once more, the fury and dazzle of saber crossing saber is intense. South Carolina 45 Ext. Naboo Plains. Sarah rides a two-legged Gungan beast of burden seen earlier, led by two Gungan guides. Guide 1, for a longo tema we did so not know about this a Sith temple desa build harisa. Guide 2, then boom, it's a come out of desa shadows, and pow, here 'tis. Sarah keep to watch roundabouts. I go to contend with this Sith Lord and his temple. South Carolina 46 Int. Sith Temple. Palpatine sits on a raised dais. Sarah steps in. Palpatine cackles. Palpatine, I have been expecting you, young one. Sarah, no doubt. Palpatine, only your hatred and rage can destroy me. Give in to your anger. Sarah, righteousness will destroy you. As a thrilling rendition of Luke and Sarah's theme with much beat and chanting starts to swell, Sarah leaps up to dethrone him immediately. But Palpatine sends a small bolt of Force lightning, which she absorbs with her saber, but cannot reach him at the same time, so tumbles to the floor. Then Palpatine leaps off his throne and starts to spar with her, toying with her. Palpatine, I could squash you like a bug. Give in to hate. It is the only way to defeat me. Give in to your anger. Sarah, I only have love in my heart, that is why you must be destroyed. You are pure hate. God will help me defeat you. Palpatine, your God doesn't exist. Suddenly, Sarah force pushes Palpatine to the floor and locks sabers with him. Sarah, yes, he does. Palpatine, good, that was anger. Use that more. Sarah backing away, covering mouth, oh my. Recovers composure, no more anger. You can believe what you want. But you will be destroyed. All of you. Mark my words. Palpatine's sad face continuing to spar, no, I didn't mean to correct you, young one, I meant to encourage you. Sarah, I too have not been showing you my full range of abilities. Suddenly she starts a full barrage of Jarkai-style attacks with some vapad as she dual wields with the saber she had until now kept concealed under her cloak. Soon Palpatine ceases to spar and toy with this girl as he has to start actually defending himself. Then Palpatine decides he's had it with defense and goes on the attack, and just as Sarah is starting to lose, we see a robed foot step in. Palpatine, why, Rosalem, my old apprentice, so good to see you alive and well. But why did you come with Nalsa Lee and Tal? Rosalem, apprentice no more. I have a new Jedi lightsaber. Things other Jedi have said to me really got me to thinking, and I have regained my faith. I will not let you destroy this little girl. I know what the truth is. You are using me. Klon and Lyrsa told me everything. I believe the words you called me were a useless bantha casting. Now I am back on the light side and I will not be turned again. An indeterminate no. I've scenes. The ensuing lightsaber duels, cutting from one to the other continue for about 15 minutes until all 3 Palpatine clones plus the additional 4 Inoda Gunja are vanquished by the Jedi. Brent Solden, the 9th of December 2020. SCN Next. Space. A fleet of Resistance Death Stars meets up with another fleet of Death Stars. SCNA Int. Death Star Control Room. PAVO. We have reached the coordinates given in the records of the Sith Palace on Naboo. An indeterminate no. I've scenes. Brent Solden, the 9th of December 2020. Suddenly Starkiller Base 2 decloaks. It is more massive than all the Death Stars combined. Also a massive fleet of Imperial ships and shadow and flame-like vessels decloak to protect it. A 15-minute battle of Death Stars exploding from shadow and flame-like vessels culminating in the destruction by multiple Hope Star blasts of Starkiller Base 2 commences and ends with a huge explosion. Ray, Poe and Finn, Lando, Chance, Chewie, Lumpy, C-3PO, R2, BB-8D0 and Luke and Sarah are heroes in this war. Rebel pilots keep the shadow and flame-like vessels off the backs of the Hope Stars so that they can do their job. And as the Rebel fleet contends with many TIEs and destroyers. Brent Solden, the 9th of December 2020. SCOXed, Naboo Plains Day. Gungans and Jedi in Naboo are overseeing the deconstruction of the Sith Temple. SCOAXed. Naboo Day. In Naboo, a holy man marries Poe Dameron and Fawn Mothma as Fawn's parents give Fawn away. C-3PO, Chewbacca, R2, BB-8D0 and Rey, Ben, Luke, Sarah, Finn, Lando and the rest are in the audience. Klon is in the back, looking at Lyrsa with admiration, arms crossed, a big grin on his face. Lyrsa looks with adoration at Klon. Rosalem, Tal and Nalsa Lee also stand in the back. Tal looks at Nalsa lovingly. Nalsa looks back. Fade out. End credits. Brent Solden, finished the 9th of December 2020. Now this thread is open to discussion. Brent Coivo Polo 888. Administrator. Grand Non-Inquisitorius. Just hired a new admin. Posts 2172. Member is online. Post by Brent Coivo Polo 888 on March 27, 2021 at 8:47 p.m. I credit YouTuber Cardinal West for this next idea. Between episodes 9 and 10 the Coruscant Accords were signed making peace between First Order remnants and the New Republic. But Rey, Finn, Poe and Lando and most of the now growing Jedi Order are opposed to these accords. Grand Admiral Thrawn makes a power grab during 10 to 12 and after his death at the hands of his personal servants the Noghri who called Rey Lady Palpatine, which is why they became allies of the Jedi. A large group of Palpatine clones that have always until now stayed hidden in the shadows inundate the growing New Republic and Jedi Order with constant attacks trying to break their resolve until the Jedi team up with the New Republic to defeat all the Palpatine clones to a man. However, Operation Cinder 2 decimated hundreds of thousands of worlds with deadly weather satellites triggered by the final clone's death, weakening the galaxy for invasion by the Vong. Covered in episodes 16 to 18. 19 to 21, which I will script at the completion of 10 to 18, will be the legacy of the Jedi series featuring Grogu, C-3PO, BB-8, R2-D2, D0. The Millennium Falcon, the luck of the draw, and introducing Delinda Anna Skywalker Solo, a descendant of Luke's, Han's and Poe's bloodline. And a brand new cast of characters exploring things not dreamt of in our current philosophy.
Okay. No, I'll see. Episode 15. To episode. I used to think it was episodes. Episode. I used to call it episode. One more for this thread. I mean, for this YouTube video. For this feed. Here we go.
15 Destruction of the Sith. Brent Coivo Polo 888. Administrator. Grand Non Inquisitorius. Just hired a new admin. Posts 2172. Member is online. March 15, 2021 at 3:57 a.m. Post by Brent Coivo Polo 888 on March 15, 2021 at 3:57 a.m. Brent Solden, the 11th of December 2020. Disclaimer. All original characters or ideas or used ideas or characters used or arranged in an original way in original dialogue and sets in. Vehicles and planets original or used originally is the sole intellectual property of Brent Lee SOHLDENKOIVOPOLO versus and cannot be stolen, but may be reproduced under fair use and created only by executives and creators and directors from Lucasfilm Limited without change or alteration. Save for additional material or by myself and those I hired to help with full cooperation with an authorization from Lucasfilm Limited. This script is only in its first draft and subject to future revisions. This is read only for your pleasure, entertainment, and enjoyment. God bless Brent. Note: end of episode 9 will be rewritten, so #Ben Solo Lives. P.S. If you wish to comment on or discuss this script or you are George Lucas and wish to suggest ideas no one else can, then there is a SW13 discussion and comments channel below this channel. Below the episode 15 channel, several channels below that. After the last line, last word of this script is complete, I will also unlock this thread so users can comment and discuss also below this script. Me Juzku and God bless. Star Wars Episode 15, Destruction of the Sith. Screenplay by Brent Solden Coivo Polo. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. SEO1 Ext. Space. A vast sea of stars serves as a backdrop for a title role, which crawls into infinity. Episode 15. Destruction of the Sith. The Palpatine clones are routed and on the run. The Resistance has learned that, should all of Palpatine die, his final clone is rigged with a trigger that, through millions of weather satellites, will devastate hundreds of thousands of worlds. Once this happens, the Yuuzhan from a neighboring galaxy are poised to invade. Now the Jedi are making a final push to eradicate all of Palpatine once and for all. Brent Solden, the 11th of December 2020. Over a lusciously rich and verdant planet, we see 2 Sith starfighters with Imperial droids in the wings. In the cockpits are 2 Palpatine clones with looks of determination on their faces. 3 more Sith starfighters join them. Trek with the fighters until they enter a large battle array of countless Sith starfighters' ties. Destroyers and Rebel SNUBFIGHTERS and frigates and cruisers and various other types of Rebel ships and Jedi starfighters. It is a battle on a larger scale than the one in the opening scene of Revenge of the Sith in size, scope and magnitude. 1 Sith fighter blows up completely and 2 are shot down. SCO2 Ext Unnamed Planet Upper Atmosphere Day. Pan down as the 2 Sith FIGHTERS descend downward towards the planet and experience atmospheric re-entry burn. SC-03 Ext Unnamed Planet Day. Camera continues to track the 2 downed fighters, having survived re-entry but both tails spinning out of control as we see that the battle continues throughout the planet's atmosphere, and is more intense in some areas than others. We see the 2 downed ships continue to tail spin down past other Sith, Imperial and Resistance ships, including many shadow and flame-like vessels capable of destroying a large Rebel vessel in a single blast. SC-04 Ext. Same unnamed planet planes. Thousands of Sith clones of Palpatine meet thousands of Jedi on an open battlefield. There are hundreds of losses on both sides. The two Sith starfighters crash into the Sith army in two huge fireballs, killing many Palpatines. SCO-5 close-up of Jedi Knight Grogu. Cutting up, taking down clone after clone. Scene 0607. Close-up of Jedi Grand Masters Generals Klon and Leersa giving orders and fighting back-to-back and side-by-side. Close-up of Jedi Masters Commanders Ben and Rey fighting powerfully and with purpose and determination. SC-08 Ext. A devastated Coruscant that looks as if there has only been meager attempts at rebuilding the city. Lumpy, Chewie, Lando and Son, Poe and Fawn Dameron, Finn, Cole Apu, Luke, Sarah Tall and Nalsali, now all 5 years older than in the last film. And a team of resistance commandos creep through the city, led by Rasalem. Finn, low, I'd much rather be fighting in the great multi-planet Jedi and Sith war than doing another boring recon mission. Nothing ever happens. Same old, same old. Poke shish. Gestures with two fingers pointing twice, indicating an Imperial presence nearby. SCO-9 Ext. Coruscant. Two Imperial officers are walking out of a tall building onto a terrace. They are busily engaged in conversation. Nearby, unseen by them, R2 extends his listening antenna, as Finn begrudgingly puts his ears on, listening with the others. BB-8 stays out of sight as he stays on the lookout for other signs of Imperial activity. Officer 1, to the second officer. The Camino protocols are secure. I assure you the fail-safe clone will not fall. If he does, it's goodbye, Galaxy. Project Cinder 2 would ensure that the New Republic shall not form even should our Emperor cease to exist. The Emperor is currently concentrating his power around Sheely and Avarice systems and decoying them with Null Hutton system movements in an effort to distract the rebels from coming anywhere near Camino. So far, the Rebellion and the Jedi have been taking the bait. We plan on making our final stand on Null Hutto with even more powerful super weapons than before. Then lying low and rebuilding our armies, and while the Palpatine on Camino still reigns supreme. The Rebellion and the Jedi will finally be utterly hunted down and destroyed. Officer 2, will Palpatine get a new apprentice? Officer 1, I hear the aged Paprati, a powerful Tograton male who left the Jedi Order 2 years ago, is being groomed to replace Lord Violentia. He is said to be more powerful than Master Yoda. Officer 2, oh my, the Jedi are in for a surprise. They won't see it coming. The two officers go back inside, their breather taken. R2 retracts his antenna. BB-8 turns his head slowly back and forth to indicate the all clear. Polo to Finn, you call that nothing? Let's get this intel back to base. The group starts off. South Carolina 10, Ext. Space. The Millennium Falcon takes off from Coruscant and the space around it shifts into the KVI-enhanced modeled sky of hyperspace. South Carolina 11, Ext. Hyperspace lane. The Millennium Falcon hurtles to hyperspace, then does some calculated hyperspace skipping to South Carolina 12, Ext. Space around TOYDARIA. Falcon approaches planet. South Carolina 13, Ext. TOYDARIA landing pad day. Falcon lands. Main door opens. Lando is the first to exit, followed by Chance, who both run into the arms of their mother and wife, Tendra. Noticeably absent is Mon Mothma. In her stead is the faithful Grand Admiral Akbar and Mon's husband, Marco Lopo. Marco embraces Fawn and Akbar gives her a look of sympathy. Akbar, Fawn, Poe, Mon wishes to speak to you both. South Carolina 14, Int. Mon in Marco's TOYDARIAN chambers. Mon is in bed. Marco, Akbar, Fawn, Poe, Finn, the Lando family, Chewie and Son, and all the others are around her. Mon Mothma, if what you say is true and not misinformation intentionally designed to mislead us, then we must act quickly to divert a large group of our forces to around Camino and her surrounding systems. I mean, you must, Fawn. When I pass on to my reward, you'll be the new Chancellor of the New Republic. You have certainly earned it. Brent Solden, December 15, 2020. Fawn weeps and embraces her mother. Marco Lopo, Dameron and Akbar bow their heads. Suddenly Mon Mothma passes from this stage of action. Everyone bows. Those with hats remove them. Fawn continues to embrace her dead mother. South Carolina 15 int. TOYDARIAN Church Day. We hear organ music as an open casket viewing is taking place at the front of the sanctuary. The pews are filled to capacity, with many standing. C-3PO to Fawn, R2 is carrying an encrypted message intended for the Supreme Chancellor. Fawn, I am the Supreme Chancellor. South Carolina 16 int. TOYDARIAN Church Hall. Fawn follows R2 down a hall to a private room. Brent Solden, December 15, 2020. South Carolina 17 int. TOYDARIAN Church Private Room. Door opens and R2 rolls in, followed by Fawn Dameron. Once the door is shut and locked, R2 plays his message. Klon, the last of the clones on Sheely and Null Hedda and their surrounding systems have been vanquished. We needed to evacuate and destroy 5 planets in all to finish the job. But the Emperor's strongholds on the invaluable planet of Avarice will take at least a 5-month series of sieges and precise surgical strikes to dethrone him. We have confirmed your intelligence about the Camino system and are diverting all forces, not concentrating on Avarice to launch a surprise attack on Camino. But Camino will be a delicate operation. May the Force be with you, milady. Brent Solden, December 15, 2020. Fawn, R2 tell 3PO to gather Akbar, Finn, Poe, and Lando, Chance, Chewie and Lumpy and show them this message. I have a feeling this will be welcome news for all of them. R2 beeps. Fawn lets him out of the room, and he rolls down the hallway. South Carolina 18 Ext. Avarice Day. We see a huge Art Deco-style modernistic and yet simplistic styled city with ordinary Americana-style suburbia, only more high-tech. War is everywhere. Battalions of stormtroopers fight armies of resistance fighters. At streets walk the streets targeting rebel after rebel. Jedi bring down its streets and contend with armies of stormtroopers. We see both original trilogy stormtroopers and First Order stormtroopers everywhere. There are hundreds of casualties on both sides. Jedi Grandmasters Klon and Lyrsa are fighting back-to-back with Jedi Knights Tal and Nal Sali. South Carolina 18 Ext. Space around Camino. There are shadowy distortions all around Camino. South Carolina 19 int. Victor's Hand Bridge. Akbar stands looking out at Camino. Akbar, activate our aquatic landing gear. Frogmen, ready yourselves. Commandos, this operation will take precision and delicacy. We need to destroy 3 Palpatine cloning facilities and contend with the adult Palpatine clones down there. When the last clone is destroyed, it will cause devastation and destruction to over 10,000 worlds, but those worlds will live on. And there are still untold millions of inhabited worlds left in our galaxy. We have with us over 200 fully trained Jedi Knights and Masters to contend with the adult clones. May the Force be with us. January 14, 2021. South Carolina 20 Ext. Camino. We see massive undersea battle has armies of Kaminoans and mini-subs and scuba gear led by Sith generals who our Palpatine clones contend against armies of rebels led by Jedi generals all in their own aquatic gear. March 15, 2021. South Carolina 21 Ext Avarice Day. We see massive wars, New Republic battle droids taking out Imperial strongholds, and Jedi facing off against many Sith clones, but not half so many as there were before. South Carolina 22 X2 ND Moon of Avarice Day. A Palp clone addresses an audience. Palp clone, the world devastators from Null Hedda are on their way to drive the Jedi from Avarice below. Pity the New Republic strike on Null Hedda and her surrounding systems was too swift for us to be able to use them there, but this battle here can be won by us, and their strike on Camino was doomed from the start. We shall yet be victorious. Regroup and clone twice of me than before. Cheers and applause. Suddenly a missile carpet bomb strike turns that place into a death trap, and that moon is free of Imperials and its Palp clone. South Carolina 23 Ext space above Camino. Some Republic ships and their fighters are suddenly swarmed with Star Destroyers and TIEs. South Carolina 24 Ex Camino Palp Cloning Facility Day. Jedi and Sith clones duel with sabers all over the platform, as many Imperials contend with the Republic commandos. Suddenly, from the sea, there is a massive uprising of Kaminoans on their beast birds, who dive at the Imperials, who far outnumber the rebels. South Carolina 25 Ex Space Above Camino. Suddenly thousands of Kaminoan warships decloak and join in the fray in the battle against the Imperials, turning the tide of the battle. South Carolina 26 Kamino and Palp Cloning Facility Platform Day. Palp clone. What? How could not have foreseen. He is impaled by a Jedi. One by one the Sith on the platform are slain, while the tide of the battle turns in favor of the rebels. South Carolina 27 Ext. Avarice. The World Devastators land, wreaking havoc on Jedi and Rebel alike. South Carolina 28 Ext. Space Above Avarice. A World Devastator takes a New Republic ship into its maw and demolishes it. Other New Republic ships open up on it, but to no avail. SC-29 Avarice, an Art Deco-style building interior room. Palp clone. I am the last Sith clone on Avarice. The Jedi don't have to know the World Devastators came too late. As long as I stay hid, the battle will go on. Suddenly, the door is sliced open by two blades moving in opposite directions, making an arch. Leersa and Klon step in. Klon, we heard you. Palp clone. Then I cannot let either of you out of here alive. Leersa. We'll see about that. Leersa leaps and twists in the air as Klon strides forward slowly. The result is that all three blades meet in the middle, and a lightning-fast lightsaber duel ensues. Ex Camino Cloning Facility. Suddenly the facility explodes and the rebels and Kaminoans cheer. An indiscriminate no. I've scenes. The rebels and Kaminoans then assault the second and third facility, put charges without and within, and they too erupt in flames. More cheering. SCNA Ex Camino Platform Day. A Kaminoan comes up to Akbar, who we've seen in this film can handle himself in a fight. Kaminoan, sir, our intelligence points to one more Sith clone, but he is elusive, and we believe the last. Akbar, my guess is he will probably be the most powerful. I will send over 200 Jedi in to hunt him down. Kaminoan, he is deep under ocean, in a secret Kaminoan complex, and those Kaminoans side with him. You'll need us. Akbar sucks in, then let's go. SCNBX Avarice Day. The lightsaber duel has been taken outside, and is faster than even Anakin and Obi-Wan's duel at the end of Revenge of the Sith. The attacks and counterattacks are relentless. Order 66 music plays as they duel, combined with Duel of the Heroes, blended harmoniously. We've never seen a lightsaber battle quite like this through city, street, market and slum, people watching gawk-eyed. Finally, Leersa lops him off from the shoulders up and Klon from the waist down, leaving the Dark Lord clone in 3 pieces. SCOANT. KAMONO Secret Facility Night. Kaminoans rebels and Jedi fight Kaminoans throughout the offices and halls of the facility, going down one level at a time. Finally, over 200 Jedi confront the Dark Lord, who proclaims he is every Sith and every Palpatine, and all their collective energy was now in him. Then Palpatine, in under 2 minutes, slaughters all of the over 200 Jedi in the room. He raises up his hands in a curl and cackles. Palpatine, it's over now. They'll just make 8 million more of me. Suddenly the Force ghost of Luke Skywalker, a young Anakin, Yoda and a young Obi-Wan Kenobi appear. Palpatine, ha! They all attack with their ethereal sabers and we see a remarkable duel as the Star Wars Separatist Navy theme plays. Maul and the former Padawan Grand Inquisitor and Qui-Gon join in the fray. Leia also appears, saber drawn, and Palpatine starts losing ground in the fight. Finally Anakin has him immobilized on the floor, pinned through the heart. Palpatine, Anakin, think back to your training. You learned early on that no Force entity not made of flesh has power to kill a man or beast. You have lost. Suddenly a familiar musical cue from Attack of the Clones comes up and we see a familiar robed footstep into the room. It is revealed to be Mace Windu, living, and with amethyst blade drawn. Mace calmly, "No, you have lost." He walks up to the pinned Dark Lord and strikes off his head. Every inch of the Sith clone's body explodes in gore. A beam shoots up past the ceiling and Mace goes up to the surface covered in gore to see the light. SCOBX Camino rooftop break and rain magnificent rainbow appears. Up in the sky 3 rebellion symbols form a triangle with all 3 symbols connected. All the freed Kaminoans and rebels cheer. Mace has a sad look on his face. Akbar, this is a sad day for 10,000 worlds, chum. Mace, and when we are weak, we are primed for invasion. By what I don't know. SCOCX'd. Kato Nemoida. As the Tri-Rebellion symbol blazes in space down below there is a major atmospheric disturbance. SCPAX'd Kato Nemoida. Pan down through the clouds to see major PLANETWIDE destruction and people running and panicking. An indiscriminate number of scenes. We show planet-wide destruction on various worlds as Operation Cinder 2 initiates. SCZAX Space Victor's arm. All Hope stars are parked in orbit around Toydaria. SCZB and Victor's arm bridge. Akbar, let's hope we'll never need these awful death instruments after today's ceremony, when they'll be no more. Cheers and applause. SCZCX Space. Suddenly every single massive Death Star blows up from the inside in sequence from first to last in a massive formation. SCZD and Victor's arm bridge. Mace Windu, I've never seen such a magnificently glorious display. Klon, I'll say. Klon holds hands with Lyrsa. An indiscriminate no of scenes in a lengthy sequence. Suddenly thousands of alien vessels invade Toydaria. An indiscriminate amount of scenes. This invasion is galaxy-wide. SCZZA and TOYDARIA Palace. Von Dameron, C-3PO, D-0, R2-D2, and BB-8 are in a massive TOYDARIAN hall. R2-D2 plays a hologram for Fawn. Rey and Finn and Poe and Chewie come up behind Fawn to watch. Rebel operative and hologram, this new threat call themselves the Yuhazong Vong, and they are extremely dangerous. Lando Calrissian found out their name and brought it to us. He is safe, for the moment. SCZZBX space above TOYDARIA. The rebel fleet is fighting a losing battle. The Millennium Falcon docks with the Victor's arm and the arm jumps into hyperspace. SCZZC and Millennium Falcon. Poe Dameron, Rey, Ben Solo, R2 and Finn are talking. Poe, my guess is these guys want control over our galaxy and its resources. R2 beeps. C-3PO, R2 says that thousands of years ago there were legends of the Vong visiting our galaxy but everyone always thought their intentions were not good. Then it was all but forgotten. A knock 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 is heard. Finn goes to an airlock and lets Lando in. Lando, it's good to see you, Finn. Tendrick, Lumpy and Junior are safe aboard the arm. Ever since I was shaken during my encounter with the Vong I've needed to see my old ship again. Ben, Von Dameron, her dad Marco Lopo, Kolapu, Luke, Saratal, Nal Sali and Ras Salem are aboard this ship. Luck of the Draw's also docked with the arm. Lando, then we are all together. We'll fight the Vong together. As the friends stand together near the game table, Yoda's theme starts up and turns into brand new Star Wars scoring. The music rises to a crescendo. Iris out. End credits. Brent Solden, finished script March 15, 2021 at 3:49 a.m. Now I have finished formatting all 3 scripts at 12:40 a.m. on March 21, 2021 AD and all 3 threads are now open for comment, criticism, discussion and review. At 3:31 a.m. I finished final edits of all 3 SW scripts except Maymave to make all Nalsali, Reese uniform to one or the other. It will be Lee after my father's name Lee. Brent Lee Solden, Anakin 77 inches Koi Vapolo, admin. Last edit July 19, 2021 at 1:42 a.m. by Brent Koivu Polo 888. Love is Sacrifice. Brent Koivu Polo 888. Administrator. Grant Non-Inquisitorius. Just hired a new admin. Posts 2172. Member is online. March 23, 2021 at 1:22 p.m. Post by Brent Koivu Polo 888 on March 23, 2021 at 1:22 p.m. At 1:20 p.m. Central Daylight Saving Time I put the finishing touches on my 3 2-hour-long scripts. By changing all instances of NALSA read when ALSALI on making a few other minor edits, admin. Last edit July 17, 2021 at 7:02 p.m. by Brent Koivu Polo 888. Love is Sacrifice. Brent Koivu Polo 888. Administrator. Grant Non-Inquisitorius. Just hired a new admin. Posts 2172. Member is online. July 17, 2021 at 7 p.m. Post by Brent Koivu Polo 888 on July 17, 2021 at 7 p.m. Ed on Saturday, July 17, 2021 I finished illustrating and scoring this movie to your and my liking, at least sufficient for the present time. The other day or yesterday I did this for episode 12 and I did a little today and shall do more for episode 14 in a little while. Yesterday or the day before I did a little illustration for episodes 10 and 11 which are at this time very incomplete but shall be as good as if not better than episode 12 script-wise. Speaking of scripts, episode 15 here is very short because I skipped a ton of scenes yet to be written or even conceived of. In a hurry to get to the epic conclusions of the film. So this is only a rough draft so to speak. May the force ever be with you all. Brent Lee Sold and Koivu Polo V, admin. Closing square bracket. Last edit July 17, 2021 at 7:01 p.m. by Brent Koivu Polo 888. Love is Sacrifice. Brent Koivu Polo 888. Administrator. Grant Non-Inquisitorius. Just hired a new admin. Posts 2172. Member is online. July 18, 2021 at 2:38 a.m. Post by Brent Koivu Polo 888 on July 18, 2021 at 2:38 a.m. EXAMPLE:// I really liked it. Or, I hated it. Or, it could be better. Etc. Love is Sacrifice.
Alright. That's it. This podcast. Hope you enjoyed. God bless you. The force with you and ciao. Live long.